Why did Saddam Hussein's army collapse in weeks and Muammar Gaddafi's regime unravel under pressure? Yet the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps continues to absorb blows from a far stronger adversary. The answer is not a single variable but a system: how power is organized, financed, and connected to society and the region. At its core, the contrast is this: the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps is a networked force with distributed centers of gravity, while the systems built by Saddam Hussein and Muammar Gaddafi were centralized and brittle. In Iran's case, redundancies are engineered into command, logistic, and financing. Authority is not singular. It is layered across parallel institutions and semi-autonomous commands. The result is shock absorption, leadership decapitation, sanctions, or infrastructure strikes degrade capacity but do not trigger systematic collapse. This design is reinforced by doctrine. The IRGC is optimized for asymmetric, non-contact warfare, missiles, drones, cyber, maritime disruption, and critically, proxy networks. These tools do not require tight, continuous command and control to remain effective. Units can operate with missile systems, directives, and external partners can impose costs across multiple theaters. By contrast, Iraqi and Libyan forces were organized around conventional hierarchies that depend on intact headquarters, clear lines of authority, and centralized planning. Once those were disrupted, operational coherence unraveled quickly. Financial structure compounds the difference. The IRGC's integration into larger swaths of economy, construction, energy, logistics, and sanction evasion channels creates autonomous revenue streams. This military-economic fusion sustains operation under prolonged pressure. Iraq and Libya, despite oil wealth, relied on state-dispersed rents tied to regime control. When the state apparatus fractured under attack, the funding base collapsed with it. The mode of war also matters. Iraq in 2003 and to a lesser extent Libya in 2011 both involved ground interventions that physically dismantled regime control and military formations. Occupation and on-ground presence allowed external forces to dismember command structures, secure territory, and reconstitute authority. In contrast, campaigns against Iran have largely been non-contact, standoff strikes, sanctions, covert action, and maritime pressure. These impose costs without delivering the decisive territorial control required to collapse a distributed system. The attacker must invest far more to achieve similar political effects, and the investment carries higher escalation risk. Taken together, the implication is straightforward. Networked, redundant security architectures have a higher survival probability under non-contact warfare. They are harder to decapitate, harder to starve financially, and harder to disaggregate structurally. This does not guarantee victory in a prolonged conflict. Attrition can still favor a superior coalition, but it raises the threshold for rapid regime change. Instant dismemberment of existing military components becomes unlikely. Instead, outcomes stretch over time, with endurance, adaptation, and externalized pressure determining the trajectory.